Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC verify you to get involved with the conversation about our Earth.
Torben.
Do you have control of your mic, Torben? Are you there? Hold on one second.
Hi. I didn't have the permission to speak for that second, but hi.
Hi. Good to hear from you. Welcome to the server. We have a panel here that will be glad to answer any questions. If you have any questions for Flat Earthers, or maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found the server.
I just looked up Flat Earth on YouTube. I don't believe in it, and I saw the live stream of this debate, and then I saw the Discord and the comments, and decided to join.
Okay, great. I think whoever wants to take lead on this.
I have a question.
Okay, there we go.
Well, Flat Earth is a bit out in the boonies. It's not a town you just happen to stumble upon and trip and fall into. It's a bit of a controversial, a little bit of a spicy topic. So I'm curious why or what got you interested in searching for Flat Earth.
Not gonna lie, I was just bored, and yeah, I just looked it up because I have free time at the moment and I'm bored. So, and just to say it again, I don't believe that the Earth is flat, but it might be interesting to speak with a few people who think it is.
Fair enough. Well, I would be curious to understand your interpretation. So if you were to say, like, I don't believe in Flat Earth, what is the Flat Earth to you?
I basically think it's just the belief that the Earth isn't a globe, right?
Okay, fair enough. But what specifically would the Flat Earth be? Has it been presented to you? Is it something you've kind of thought about? Or do you have an idea of Flat Earth? Or just you're not a big fan of the word? Or, I mean, I'm curious what your interpretation of Flat Earth is.
Yeah, you know, if you watch mainstream media, anything, it's basically just like put out there as the stupidest conspiracy theory, and just like the example for conspiracy theories in general, right?
Okay. So you've seen a lot of the mainstream stuff about Flat Earth.
Yeah, I'm not into I'm not that informed about the topic.
Fair enough. Well, you might be surprised to know that those mainstream interpretations, if you saw that and you're like, yeah, I don't believe that, well, we don't either.
I don't like mainstream media. I don't believe mainstream media, but I also don't believe the Earth is flat. So I have a few questions if that's fine with you guys.
Well, I would maybe ask you to be a little bit more specific. If you're saying that I don't believe the Earth is flat, I would like you to present to me this flat Earth that you were talking about.
I don't know which flat Earth you're talking about. I'm talking about the model.
Hold on. If I say I don't believe in Santa Claus, I kind of need to know what Santa Claus is to say that I don't believe in it. Would you agree with that?
I don't know what your model is. I believe in the model you learn in school, the official model. I believe in that one.
Fair enough. Okay. That would probably be a better way to phrase it, because like people do often say like, I don't believe in Flat Earth. It doesn't make sense to me, yada, yada. But then you kind of start to ask them like, oh, but what is Flat Earth? And they're like, well, I don't know. So it's like, well, how do you disagree with something you don't understand?
Can I ask you now?
Go ahead.
Did you ever ask your model?
Right, you're talking to me?
Yeah. Did you ever put in question your model?
I mean, I thought about it, and for me, it made perfect sense.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's address that real quickly. Let's address that real quickly, Sasha, before you go on. Let's just quickly address that. You might want to raise up your standard of criteria a little bit. I think making sense isn't a very good standard of criteria. Because just really quickly, even stories are made to make sense. If I watch Dragon Ball Z, they have the gravity chamber and they train in higher gravity so they become stronger. I think that makes sense. But making sense doesn't make things.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that a little bit. I think it explains perfectly all the phenomena we see in nature, and has some predictive capabilities.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you tell me now? Do you believe that Earth is a sphere, or you know that Earth is a sphere?
That's actually a good question. Like, that's really philosophical. Like, what do we actually know 100%? But I think I think I know the Earth is not flat, and from all the evidence I saw in my life, I think it's the
Good.
most logical assumption to think that Earth is round.
Great. That means that you will know the three questions what we ask all people who came here, because it's first we ask people about how they know that it's a globe, and then we move to questions about flat Earth. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good approach, like a good idea. Like,
Okay.
first of all,
Do you
I think,
do you know?
yeah.
Let's see how much you know, but you personally, it's nothing that somebody want to get you or something. What you know, but really know, or you will say I don't know, or I know. That's two questions. If you know, we will ask more questions. What you really know, but because you must to know, then we'll ask for the proof of that if you know. But if you don't know, you say only I don't know, and that's all right. You go on for the second and third question, then you can ask questions.
Okay.
Is that all right? Do you know who measured the curvature of the Earth from the ancient time till now, drop over distance?
Nah, no idea.
Okay. But you think that somebody is measured,
Yeah, I think so.
but you don't know.
I don't know who did it and how the person did it. I might have learned something about that at school, but I don't remember.
Second question is, do you know that who from the human history measured the rotation of the Earth?
No, and like basically, I'm gonna say no to most of the questions. I'm not that informed about the spherical model. I remember some stuff from school, but that's basically it. So,
and third question will be, because we are the sphere. That means it's sphere. You know what is sphere? It's rotating in the vacuum of the space.
Yeah,
and the
I would say so.
question. Yeah, and the third question would be how we can have the gas pressure without container.
The gravity, right?
Yeah, we can speak about that. It is not, because gravity has nothing to do with the gases,
But why not?
With the
Gas has mass too. Gas gets retracted to the Earth too.
Okay, let's put it like this. I asked, do you know, can we have the gas pressure without container? You said gravity.
Yes, because of gravity.
Can you demonstrate the gas pressure without container?
Demonstrating pressure, yeah, there are instruments out there that can measure pressure. We can measure the pressure of gas and of water. Like, I think water is a solid example.
Did you hear? Can you repeat my question?
Your question is how we can have pressure without a container, and I would point towards water, because we can also observe water pressure without a container, and gas.
I'm asking you how we can have gas pressure without container. I can ask also
because the gas gets attracted to the Earth.
I don't know if he's understanding the question fully. Torben,
I fully understand the questions. Like, you're asking me why there's pressure without a container.
Trying to do a little moderation here, if you let me.
Yes.
It's the same. Like, basically, I would say you can compare that really well towards water.
Torben.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. Hold up a second.
Real quick. Could you could you mail me some water without a container?
Mail you water?
Yeah.
It would drop down because of gravity. But if you look at the oceans, and if you dive down,
hold on. There's a couple. We got to address a couple of things you said. So I don't want you to just to keep steamrolling forward.
Sure.
I can either ask you a question or I can make a statement here. You said that water doesn't require a container either. You just pointed out that you can't mail me any type of water, anything, without the container. So I don't think that statement was true, that you can have water.
Would you say the ocean has a container?
Of course.
What do you mean the wall? You mean like at the beaches, the end of that, but there's nothing
Yeah,
else
of
besides
course.
that?
Shoreline.
Well, could you like any body of water? We can look at natural or man-made bodies of water. We can start in the house with a sink or a cup or a bathtub or your swimming pool. Those are all
What-
contained bodies of water. So
What-
then we go into hold on, Sasha, one second. Then we go into nature.
Like for example, if I with the question, if I made water, it would
Holy
splash
smokes,
down on the ground,
This guy,
and then we.
just take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay, man. The floor is yours. You're allowed to speak, but I just want to get through a little bit of moderation, and then you can proceed. And Sasha, I think
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to wrap up some things with you as well. So same thing when we go into nature, ponds, lakes, ocean, also contained by the land. So what you said about water is also uncontained is not true. Now, the important part here is what you stated was true in the fact that the claim is that gravity contains the gas. We're well aware. The issue is that the question involves that claim. How do you have that claim? How can we have this happening? So what we're looking for is a demonstration, not just a repetition of the claim. We know what the claim is. The claim is involved in the question. So if you could demonstrate it, that would be great. That's what we're looking for. It's a demonstration
I
of
would.
gravity containing gas.
If
I
you
mean, you
cannot,
need a
you
lot
can
of
say I
gravity.
don't. If you cannot demonstrate it, you can say I don't know somebody else. I believe that somebody else demonstrated.
No, I think if I would have to demonstrate like pressure without a container, I would need to build like an Earth-sized object and put some gas on there to demonstrate that.
I want to address that. Let me address that really quickly, Sasha.
Let's put it like this. Because
Essentially-
if it exists, it will be for sure that you're personal. That means, can you did that?
Well, real quick, let's
I think-
address that just shortly. Essentially, what that's saying is if I could only poof my claim into existence, this is not really making much of a case to say, like,
Yeah.
well, if I could poof it into existence, I would show it to you. That's not really, I don't think that's
Yeah, I
making
mean,
a solid case.
It's hard, it's hard to demonstrate a gas pressure without like having without a container, without having a massive object like the Earth with a lot of gravity.
I wouldn't say it's just hard. I would say it's a violation of natural law. It's impossible.
So you all think there's basically a globe above us that contains all the air?
No.
Well, to say globe is kind of adding some extra ideas. What we're pointing out, and what Sasha's pointing out, is that you need the container for gas pressure. That doesn't necessarily
think that-
ascribe any specific shape.
You
or
think
anything.
there's a big container around the Earth? Like
The
around
answer is
the
no.
Well, if you
The
can,
answer
if
is
you
no.
have good inference
You can't
skills,
demonstrate it.
if you have good inference skills, you should be able to pick up on the fact that you do need some type of containment for gas pressure, or even water, for example.
No, why should you? Why should you need a
Well,
and with water, like the one I think I wanted to
let me answer
explain
that. Let me answer that. That's a good question. Why should you? Is because that there is no other demonstration of the contrary. So what you claimed is fine. That is
Yeah.
the claim that you don't
Yeah,
need a
I
container.
can't really demonstrate that without having a massive object like that. But
Take a deep breath, brother. I would like to kind of have a back and forth, and the floor is yours. No one's muting you or anything. We would just want to have a back and forth so everyone can kind of hear what you're being said. Now,
I appreciate it.
yeah. So, you asked why wouldn't you believe this? Well, there seems to be no example of what you're claiming. It's kind of a rare claim.
Let me give another example. If like you mentioned like mailing water to someone, if I would basically just hand you some water and it would drop onto the floor, I would have, because of surface tension, I would have some water laying on the ground, some water droplets basically, and there would be a little bit of pressure in them, and there wouldn't be a container.
No, well, the surface would be the container essentially. It doesn't leave. Wouldn't be like an uncontained area. So I don't think that's a good example either.
Do you think the Earth is the air is made of molecules and atoms?
I'm not sure. I don't see how that's relevant. Let's get to something more specific because.
Okay.
essentially
Can I ask you a few questions too?
Well, sure. Once we kind of wrap up the gas pressure thing, just so it's very clear. You asked like, well, why wouldn't you believe? That's a fairly decent question. I think it's worth kind of going through. If I were to show you, if I were to present to you that I have a rare banana that grew from a tree and it never came from a peel, Would you have a reason to believe me?
Yeah, that's really besides our discussion, our topic.
No, I'll explain. I'll explain a little
You're
bit.
asking me to dedemonstrate. You're asking me to demonstrate
I'll
the air
explain,
pressure
Torben.
thing. I gave
Torben.
you a few examples
Hold on,
of like.
buddy. It's gonna be okay. All right. I just want you to take a deep breath. Could you maybe answer my question?
The question if I would believe it, basically without proof.
Well, yeah, because you did ask a fairly decent question, like, well, why would I believe it? And so I wanna actually, if you care about the answer is valuable to you. I would like to show you the answer why you should. And
Why would
so
I believe that?
I do have an analogy about a banana that kind of relates to this gas pressure argument. Well, I can go through it with you if you prefer, but just on the surface level, if I were to present to you that I have this rare banana that never came from a peel, I mean, is that something you would accept?
Probably not. No.
Great. So that's how we feel as well. Essentially, the Earth is being claimed to be a rare thing, like a banana, essentially, that doesn't need a peel.
Right? I'm not asking for you to believe in the gas pressure thing, but I think there are a few other points that make it obvious that we are on a globe.
Well, let's
Whoa.
before we jump off to that, I want to get through, because this is quite important, I think, the gas burst thing. Before we jump off and move on to something else, I think it would be important.
Okay, then let us continue with the gas pressure thing. You are asking me to demonstrate something. I can't because I need Earth for that. I need a big object with a lot of gravity to demonstrate that. And
You can't.
Sorry,
demonstrate it.
CB, before you continue.
So, I
you
can't
have that-
demonstrate it to
Sorry,
you.
my friend, do apologise. You have that object. You're on the Earth all the time. And what we
and
don't
gas
observe,
pressure.
hold on, haven't finished. What we don't observe is gas being attracted to that mass.
Yes, you
You
do. The gas
understand?
is
Hold
not
on, you
flying.
understand
Yeah.
that, right? And I've got to
Yes,
put my
gas
nighttime
pressure
voice on, so I
Torben,
don't want to speak.
Just
I've got to put my
I don't want
nighttime
to
voice
have
on.
to.
My God,
It's
guys.
it's the same with water. If you
Hold
go
on,
up,
hold on, Torben. I think Jedi's trying to get a point in. I don't want to have to mute your microphone for you. If you can control your own microphone, that'd be great. But
sure.
I don't want to have to like.
Tell me when.
moderate. So Jedi, if you could finish, and then maybe Torben, you could respond once he's finished.
See, the thing is that you said that you can't do this because you'd have to make something as big as the Earth. Well, that's kind of what we're pointing at. You're on the Earth, and the gas doesn't act in the way that you want it to, because the gas is moving freely and randomly in all directions and not being pulled to the mass of the Earth. So we can have a vacuum chamber, right, on the Earth, and we can impart gas into that vacuum chamber on the Earth, and the gas will freely disperse into that vacuum chamber and press on all walls of that container, upwards, outwards, and downwards. So even when you're on the Earth, it's not affecting the gas that you say that I need to make a big Earth to make the gas do what I want it to do. You're on the Earth, and observably, the gas isn't following your gravitational idea of just going down. Gravity's just dropping a rock and the rock goes down, right? Ion contained gas from a tire or a balloon or a container, and the gas disperses freely and randomly in all directions. And when it's in that tire, balloon, football or container, the gas is pressing omnidirectionally 360 degrees around. So that's why footballs are shaped like spheres. So whilst you're on the Earth, the gas isn't acting the way that you want it to. You understand that, right? Here on the Earth, where you've got all the gravity that you need, it's not affecting gas.
I see the point you're making. I think I could demonstrate the contrary, because if you go up onto a high mountain, you can see there's less air up there. So it clearly demonstrates that.
No. So that's a gas pressure gradient. That's not gravity affecting gas as it goes down like a rock. That's a gas pressure gradient. To have a gas pressure gradient, first of all, you must have gas pressure. That'll be gas inside a container, so the gas can achieve pressure by pushing on the outside, pushing on the container walls, right? And then you impart energy into the system. Or you also put it into a production cycle, as in, here's where the gas produced, it goes through a cycle, goes up and come back down again. The water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the biological and chemical cycles that happen here on the Earth. See, that's where the gas is made, within and on the surface of the Earth. Its first instance is to move away from that mass you say is attracting it to it. So observably, the gas isn't affected by the very big thing that's underneath it, you claim it to be the Earth. I don't care how high you get, you're just going to point out gas pressure. I go up to the top of the mountain, there's less gas pressure up here. Awesome. You said the word pressure. You understand the necessary antecedent for pressure is the container. You have the consequent of gas pressure, therefore there must be a container. If you want a gas pressure gradient, that's energy in the system, sunshine.
I don't think there need to be a container because of gravity, but if you could move
Hold
on to a few
all right,
questions.
that's not a problem at all. But you will realise this, that first of all, you don't have an observation of gravity acting on gas, which I've tried to point out to you for the last 2 minutes. But then what you're going to have to do is go and get a scientific experiment that proves only gravitational idea that you're talking about and come back here in 5 years and realise you haven't got one. But I tell you what, I've given you gravity. There you go, mate. It exists. It's observably not affecting gas. Gravity is just a vector downwards when you drop a rock. Gas disperses freely and randomly in all directions. So scientifically, you don't even have an observed phenomena to ask what caused that to happen.
Yeah, with your example, if you have the small box and put a vacuum in it and a little bit of air in it, there would be less pressure at the top and more pressure at the bottom too. But if you only do it with a little bit of air, might be really hard to stop that.
But you would need to do that without you would need to do that without the box, Torben. The box would be the container. But I wanted to address something quickly, because we're saying that you need the container. You're saying you don't. So if I were to take you outside and point at the sky and say, "Well, look, there's the container. It has to be there," well, you probably wouldn't accept that, would you, Torben? So in the same way, like when you go up on your mountain and point to the sky and say, "Well, see, it's open. Don't need a container." That's not very acceptable as well. So I just wanted to point that out and let you know that, make sure you don't have any double standards here. You probably wouldn't accept us pointing at the sky and saying, "Well, look, there has to be a container because look." You probably wouldn't accept that.
Yeah, the pressure thing without the container is like pretty much impossible to you.
The main thing is that the third question was answered. He said he can't demonstrate it. So
yeah, I can demonstrate it without having.
We've reached the conclusion of the 3 points. We've reached the conclusion of the 3 points.
Great. Then, if I could ask you a few questions, that would be great. Like, how would you expect?
Only to make a conclusion about 3 points. That means the three things what is very, 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 very important to be to the spherical. It's a curvature of the Earth. You don't know the question. The second one, you believe that is spherical. The second was rotation. You don't know who proved it. That means that you believe that it's proved. And the third one, that gas pressure that we have this next to the vacuum of space, you believe that it's proved. Now we can say that you believe that Earth is sphere, but you for sure don't know, and you can now ask the questions. Yeah.
Okay. And I would just say, on the last point, it's not a lack of ability. Like, oh, well, we don't have the ability to do it. So no, what we're saying is it's a violation of natural law. Like, it's impossible to do what you're claiming. Not to attack you or anything, because you were right in stating what the claim is, that gravity contains the gas, but that is impossible, is what we're saying. So.
Yeah.
Do you know that I said we will ask 3 questions, and that these are 3 very important questions, and it's nothing to catch you. It's only to understand you, that you believe in that you in this moment you don't know, but you still believe there is an answers. It must be only that point. Now you can ask all questions.
For example, with I'm sure you know about the questions. I'm sure a lot of people bring that up. But with ships, if they go over the horizon, why is it that the lower parts of the ship disappear first? The last thing I can see is the upper part of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that suggest curvature?
You know why that is?
If that was the case, why doesn't you see any curvature at left and right on your on that horizon?
No, that's just not answering his question, Miguel. I'm sorry. To be fair, right? Like, we asked him 3 questions. It's like you just answered with another question. Is that fair to say, Miguel?
Okay.
No, I understand the point he's trying to make, but I think it's the same if I have like.
No. It's okay. It doesn't matter. The answer to your question is because of the angle between the ground and the boat.
Would you elaborate further? What do you mean by that?
Angular resolution limit, depending on an object or an object against another object. An object in free space, an object in free space like a balloon, or an object against another object like two people standing together.
Let me say this too quickly. Let's take a look at our worldviews side by side. We're both standing at the beach, shoulder to shoulder, and you see the boat, quote unquote, going down, and I see.
That was a point blank bullet. What's wrong with that answer? Just because he doesn't understand it doesn't mean. I mean, that's the shortest possible answer, and it's actually very true.
Yeah, just something about angles that doesn't really explain it for me.
Yeah, it does. Like here's an example from the past. Shout out to Jedi.
All right, okay, dude.
If you have a brick on the floor, you can see it, right?
The brick, yeah.
Okay. At some point, if you take that brick out into the distance, you won't be able to see it, right?
Yes.
What about if I built a tower on top of that brick? Would you be able to see the tower?
If it's big enough.
Right. But the bricks that began on the first layer, you still wouldn't be able to see it because it was too far before you built the tower, right?
If there's like a large open plain like water, then I would like only see the bricks at the top.
Yeah, there you go. So you do understand.
No, I would only see the bricks at the top because of the curvature of the earth.
No, if you put a brick out, into the distance, you don't see it, not because of the curvature of the earth, but because it's too far. Okay, let me ask you this: if there's a fly in front of your face, you can see it.
A fly? Yes.
Mm-hmm. If it's 2 blocks away, can you see it?
No, it's really small. My eyes aren't that good.
Why can't? Oh, you can't resolve the angle, right? Okay, great. That's what I mean.
The resolution of my eyes is just not good enough to see a fly from far away.
Yeah, that's the point. And the limited angle between the brick and the ground is also too small of an angle for your eye to resolve. So you do understand.
What does that to do with an angle?
Yeah, like, but Torben, what's blocking the fly? Nothing's blocking the fly.
Wait. What do you mean? Okay, if you're standing in front of a tall building, you have to careen your neck or look up, right?
Yes.
Okay, is your neck at the same angle the further away from the building that you get?
Definitely not.
So there's a difference in angle, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be a limit to that angle the further you get out. That's again, you do understand.
Like at a certain distance, there's no angle anymore. Like if I'm far enough away, I'm just looking straight.
So you're telling me that there isn't a line from the ground up to an object, the object, and then up to the top of the object. That's not a thing?
The angle is irrelevant. If like there's a skyscraper and I'm standing far away, I'm looking straight. The same with ships. I'm looking straight and I only see the upper part of the ship.
Go ahead. Creation Bear. Go ahead, Creation Bear. I don't care. I'm only giving gold to people who will accept it. I don't care. Go ahead, guys.
Okay. Then let's go on to my second question. The moon.
Wait. Hey, Torben. Okay. I want to make sure your questions are valuable to you. So if you actually care about the answer, I mean, do you not care about the answer that you want to move on?
The answer is just about angles, but angles are irrelevant. I'm basically looking straight. I'm basically looking at a 90-degree angle.
Cool. Well, if you want the answer, I mean, I wouldn't say that's the only answer, even though it's a very good answer and it should answer your question. But if it's not clicking with you, we can give you another answer if it actually matters to you. But if it doesn't matter to you,
you mean by another answer, there should be only one answer to that question. And
I don't think so. I think there's a couple ways to address it, especially if it's not clicking for you. So I just want to make sure that your questions are meaningful to you, because if you're just going to move on to another question that doesn't matter to you and you don't care about the answer, then what are we doing? So
yeah,
I'd like to address your first question if I could. And
Yeah,
I want to
okay.
say the PIEC. I know you just got checked in. I'm going to want to mute up. Looks like you got an open mic there.
Sorry, I wanted to ask something.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Can you give it a moment? Well, while these guys,
Yeah, sure.
ask your question and then we'll come back to it as Creation Bear and the other guy wraps up. But ask it real quick, just so we have it in the back of our minds.
To understand. I'm sorry. I'm really talking up. I'm new to the conversation, so I want to know what you think that is.
Was he breaking up for you guys, or
do you have a question or not?
Catch it.
You can also type it in the chat if we're not hearing you. Okay, but
Hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, wait. Let me change my mic.
Seems to be working now. Go ahead with your question.
So I wanted to ask, why do you believe that the Earth is flat?
Okay, Sasha will be pleased. Yeah, we'll get back to that, guys. If you want to think of your answer, we'll get back to that in just a moment. Is that all right? Peace.
That's a beautiful question.
Cool. All right. Well, Torben.
Sasha's mad. He's like, finally, after 1,000 years, someone.
Sasha, if you're there, you can get first dibs on that question. All right, Torben.
No. I want to also say you need to continue with this guy, but for this guy, it's good. He can ask the same question if he wants. Only that, nothing else.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is simple, man. I mean, this is like jumping back in a time capsule, and we're going back to 2015. This is like early level stuff. It's pretty easy. But Torben, let's just take a look at side by side at what we both think when we're standing at the beach and we're watching the ship do what it does. You think that, and this is no offense at all. This is not a personal attack or anything, but you think that the water is essentially bulged up. It's curved into a hill, a mound, curve, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, you're saying that the water is curved, so the boat is going over this hill of water, and now it's being blocked. The bottom of it is being blocked by this hump of water. Okay. We're just saying that that's not happening. The water, we're simply saying water doesn't do the whole curvature hill mound thing, and the boat's just going away from you.
Then look at the water droplet on the leaf. There's curved water right there.
Sure. But if you understand, we're talking about bodies of water. Surely, you when we talk about bodies of water, that's something you could put your body in. So something big enough, like maybe a bathtub or a swimming pool, or you go into nature, things like ponds or lakes or oceans. They don't have the same behavior as small examples of water. You can put water in a container that's maybe 2 inches in diameter or maybe smaller, and you'll get a meniscus. And so the behavior of water in small examples isn't representative of water in bodies of water. So that's what we're talking about, bodies of water. Ships don't go over droplets of water, do they? The claim is that ships go over the ocean, and the claim is that the ocean is curved, essentially like a big hump. Exactly. So that's the claim. So bringing up water droplets is a bit irrelevant. It's probably even worse than you were saying that angles in terms of angular resolution was irrelevant. This is even far worse off the reservation. So, we're talking about bodies of water, and the nature of water is the same in all bodies of water. It's not convex. It's not curved up like a hill or a drop. It's level. It lays smooth, flat. So that's what we're saying. You just have to take a look at our two ideas side by side. You think water forms into a hill. We don't. So for the audience out there listening, you take your pick, because we don't see hills of water. So
because they're really, really big. Like, you can't see the curvature of the water easily, but you can see it because of the ships.
Well, no, because water just doesn't do that, period. If it does,
you can see it. You can see it because of the ships. That clearly suggests that there's a bulge of water, that the water isn't straight.
I wouldn't say that.
May I?
Logical fallacy.
Go ahead.
Sorry, see, this is one of the reasons why most of us flat earthers are here in the first place. Because we thought that we could see that object because the curve of the earth was in the way. Right? You can't see the bottom of the boat because the horizon, physical earth curve is the thing that's blocking your view from the boat. But that's making a claim to the horizon being the physical curvature of the earth, which then must mean that it must be and only be in the mathematical predicted value of where it should be, 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. You see, the thing is, with lots more investigation, we've discovered that the horizon isn't in its physical geometric location, and maths I just stated. It's in fact an optical phenomena. Depending on the atmospheric conditions of the day and your technology that you use, your eyes, binoculars, telescope, then the horizon will appear to move around. So the reason why you, me, and everybody else can't see the bottoms of objects at distance over water is because of perspective and optical phenomena. It's not because of the curvature of the Earth, because the horizon has been viewed well beyond the restricted value of 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And we can show that to you. If somebody could post the image of the black swan for me in the live stream voice text, we'll go over it right now. Because the horizon is not where the maths dictates it should be. If we're on a ball with a radius value of 3,959 miles, sir.
And what's really important about that, I'm glad you brought that up, Jedi, is that our friend Torben did say that the globe has predictive capabilities. So one of those would be this geometric horizon claim. That it requires the horizon to be at a certain distance, at a certain height off the ground. So what Jedi is about to take you through is an example of this geometric claim that you kind of reference, that the globe has predictive capabilities. So let's take a look at one of those predictions. So one of those
my friend Torben, are you in the live stream voice text? And when you are, can you tell me when you see the observation or the picture of the two oil rigs, please?
Yeah, I'm in the live stream voice text.
You see the oil rigs, yeah?
Yes.
Good. All right, so this is an observation taken from 1 foot above the surface of the water. This is a still shot taken from a video. We can provide you with the video if you wish, not a problem. Now, according to the mathematics of the ball, the radius of 3,959 miles, the physical geometric horizon must be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. I'll go through that maths for you. We start with the observer's height in feet. The observer's at 1 foot above the surface of the Earth. Square root of 1 is 1. Brilliant. So we've got 1 times 1.225. Quite easy to understand that equates to 1.225. So for this observer with that camera at 1 foot above the surface of the water, the physical geometric horizon should be at 1.2 miles. You see, the oil rigs, the reason why the oil rigs are there is because they're at known distances. They're static oil rigs. They don't go anywhere. From this observer's position, one oil rig is just beyond 6 miles. And the oil rig on the left is just beyond 9 miles. In reference to these two oil rigs, my friends, can you tell me where the horizon appears to be? For example, does the horizon appear before the two oil rigs? Is the horizon between, beyond, or in front of the two oil rigs? Where's the horizon appear to be, my friend?
Yeah, with all of these math stuff, I would prefer if we not go over that. I've watched a few videos about flat Earth already, and by flat Earth people and by people who are against
the
flat
answer
Earth.
to the question, please.
I'll address that. That's fine.
And let you go on for a minute.
I'll address it.
With all of the math stuff and the numbers, it's basically I have to trust all of the numbers from the videos that claim
You're not answering the question.
Yeah, the horizon appears to be behind
my friend. Shush. Very quickly. You understand that we're using the mathematics associated with a sphere. That's a geometric function. We know the size of that ball. You will agree to the size of that ball as well. It's the Earth, right? It's got a radius value of 3,959 miles. Awesome. It's just a geometric function. Now, we'll have this as a good faith argument. If all the things that I'm saying are true, will you answer the question, where's the horizon appear to be with regards to the two oil rigs?
That looks like it's behind it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a bit of a problem because for the mass that's associated with the ball and the altitude of the observer, the horizon must be at 1.2 miles. If it's to cause physical obstruction, like you said, I can't see the bottom of the boat, that's a claim to the horizon being physical, right? If it was physical, it would be where the maths dictates, 1.2 miles away. Now, we can clearly see the horizon is beyond the two oil rigs, and the oil rig on the left-hand side has got a distance mark of just beyond 9 miles. So we can safely say the horizon appears to be about 10 miles away. It could be 15, it could be 20. But the point is, if you go back on a different day, take an observation of these oil rigs, the horizon will appear in front of the oil rigs. You go back on a different day, the horizon will appear between the two oil rigs. The point to this is the horizon moves. Now, if it's physical, it's not going to move, is it? If it's physical, then it has to be where the mathematics dictates for you to make the claim that I can't see the bottom of that boat because the physical curve of the Earth is in the way. I've just asserted to you that that horizon isn't physical, and you understand now, with this observation, that it's beyond its physical geometric limitations. You understand that point, right?
Sorry, can I say
As
something?
I told you, I don't want to get into all of the math stuff, and what on to my next question, if possible.
Well, we can get to that in a second. I think Peace wants to chime in. But Torben, just so you know, essentially it's like if you told us that you were 6 foot tall, and we're like, okay, well, we're going to test that claim. There better be 72 inches there. And you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I agree with that. It's like, bro, this is this is the claim that you know you're like, you agree with this claim. So when it comes to these numbers, it's not flat earth or math or anything like that. It's this claim size of the globe. So if you believe in the globe, this is the size you believe it to be. Just like if you know, whatever how tall you are, that's how tall you are. So if we're going to test how tall you are, you can't go, oh, well, you can't test that claim. Well, that's how tall you claim to be. So it doesn't matter if we're flat earthers or not. That's the claim on the table. So just want to help you understand that this isn't like flat earth or math. It doesn't matter who says 2 + 2 is 4. It's still 4. So, Peace, did you want to chime in?
I just wanted to say, like, 9 miles is like a flat line. If we combine all of the Earth, like,
wait,
miles.
Wait.
Yeah.
Real quick, because we're going to have to go over the math with you one more time, because if you were listening closely, Jedi pointed out that the claim is that the curve starts at 1.22 miles at 1 foot off the surface. So 9 miles is that's pushing the goalpost back quite a bit.
Yeah, but I never said it's 1.22
Well,
miles.
here's the thing, brother. We're not waiting for you to say it. As I was pointing out with Torben, that's the claim on the table. So if your claim to, let's say I was giving him the example of his height. So, Peace, if you're 6 foot, there has to be 72 inches there, or that claim is false.
Yeah,
so it's like we're not waiting for you to claim that, oh, there must be 72 inches. If you're 6 foot, there has to be 72 inches. So if the Earth is a radius of 3,959 miles, then the distance to the curve has to be 1.22 based off of a math. So we're not waiting around for you to make the claim, my friend.
Okay, but that's why I asked, why do you believe the Earth is flat? Because I wanted to know what do you believe in.
Well, like, it's really important to understand why we're going through these numbers, because I don't think you get to flat Earth, you just skip there. I think step 1 is you need to know what the globe claims are so that you can, step 2, test them. And that's exactly what Jedi is teaching you right now. Is step 1, what are the globe claims? Well, it's the P statement in this modus tollens. If the Earth is a sphere with the radius of 3,959 miles. So that's the claim that you go and test. It's just like if, Peace, you said you were 6 foot and we met up with you in person, we go, okay, well, then there must be 72 inches there when I go to measure you. And if there aren't, then the claim that you were 6 foot is false, debunked.
You're right.
So that leaves you with perhaps your flat Earth. Once you go out and test the globe claim and you go, well, it's not really there, you're kind of left with no other option But we can go into that a little bit more specifically. But wasn't sure if our friends here were done with the black swan.
Yeah, sure, but I need more evidence.
Okay,
that's fine.
That is
I'll
just
give it
one
to you.
evidence.
Sure,
and that's all right.
But it falsifies
right,
the globe radius, though, right? So what
You're
more
right.
do you actually need? And on the flip side, what evidence do you actually have for the globe that you already believe in? It doesn't seem like you need any for that, but we're showing you something that would preclude the possibility of the globe existing, and you say you need more than that. And I don't know what you could possibly have after that for the globe, so it seems like a double standard.
I mean, because it's like a perspective.
Oh,
and
dear.
I just...
Do you want a nail in the coffin? Do you want me to put a nail in the coffin, mate?
Yeah, sure.
No problem. Do you know what a triangle is?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So you'll understand a triangle is 3 straight lines that meet at 3 corners where the 3 interior angles can be measured with an angle measuring device and added together to reach 180 degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Can you measure an angle if one of those lines within your triangle is bent or curved? If you put your protractor down on it, can you measure an angle if one of the lines is curved?
No.
Awesome. Do you know what celestial navigation is, or navigating by the stars? Have you ever heard of that before?
You mean like knowing where you are in the world by looking at the stars?
Yes, exactly that. So for hundreds of years, sailors have used angle measuring devices known as sextants to measure elevation angles to stars at known times of years. Now, within celestial navigation, what we basically use is a right-angled triangle. The 3 corners of that triangle are made by you, with the sextant, the star that you are looking at, and the ground position of that star. Those are the 3 points, and you will have 3 straight lines between those 3 points. Understanding that beneath the star is a ground position of that star, and the angle of that ground position of the star is 90 degrees. Now, that ground position of the star can be beyond the horizon up to a distance of 3,000 miles in the case of Polaris, for example. And you will understand that to measure an angle up to that star we're going to call Polaris, you must have a straight horizontal baseline. That straight horizontal baseline comes from the GP of the star to your ground position with the sextant. That line is straight. Now, if the Earth was a curved surface, that line would be bent, which would mean that you would not have a 90-degree ground position underneath the star, and you most definitely wouldn't be able to measure an elevation angle up to that star, because the horizontal baseline, the Earth, would be a curved surface. And you understand as well as I do, my friend, that you can't measure an angle with a curved line. That curved line will interrupt your ability to measure 2 of those angles. You also have to understand as well that every single star in the night sky has a ground position of 90 degrees to you. Now we understand you can't have one 90-degree angle on a curved surface, let alone hundreds of thousands, right? So navigating with the stars requires the Earth to be a level, flat, horizontal baseline for me, you and everybody else to get elevation angles up to stars, and for ground positions of stars to always be at 90 degrees. To navigate across the Earth with a sextant, the Earth is required to be flat, my friend.
Yeah, sure. So why people say that Earth is not flat?
Because people have been told since the moment that they were born that the Earth is a spinning ball in the vacuum of space.
I think there are like a few other observations.
Yeah, there's lots of other explanations, mate. Things that you see on TV, things associated with the heliocentric model, a reason why sunsets exist within the heliocentric model, and the predicted values of maybe what the moon does at known times of years. People believe that this can only happen on a spinning ball. But I'll tell you this right now. The waters that we observed are level. They are measured level. We did that earlier with the 2 oil rigs. And to practically navigate across the Earth, you require an angle measuring device. Because you know when you're in an airplane or a ship at sea, they got GPS and stuff. When all of that fails, your captain's going to pull out a sextant so he knows his location on the Earth when your life depends on it.
Sorry, I've got limited time left, so if you could let me speak for a few minutes without interrupting to bring up my last few points so we get through that all, that would be Like, first of all, I want to thank you, Randy, everyone here has been. It's been really nice because I know people are typically really harsh towards flat earthers, so it's nice or welcoming and nice everyone here is. But not 2 points. Thank you. I wanted to bring up the moon. Wherever you're on the Earth, you see the same face of the moon, just upside down. That wouldn't be possible without on a flat surface. And of course, the ship thing. And my main point, basically, my best. Let me finish that for a second. Best proof for the globe would be that it would be such a huge undertaking to convince so many people and to fake so much evidence. So many people would need to be in on it that it's basically
category error.
Unrealistic, especially because people wouldn't gain anything from convincing people of the wrong shape of the Earth. There's not
blind assertion.
That could be gained by
Appeal to motivation.
They gained you.
Incredulity.
Continue.
Come again?
Yeah, so we got a question begging fallacy, a category error, an appeal to motivation. So a bunch of fallacies. Are you done?
That would be my main point. The moon, it's not possible to see the same moon. It wouldn't be possible of the moon on a sphere to see the same moon from wherever you are, just upside down. And it would make no sense to invest so many resources in convincing people of flat Earth, round Earth.
Sociological argument.
Appeal to authority. Appeal to motivation.
It's also a sociological argument, so it's a category error because the claim is a geometric one. So your argument should be based in geometry, not in what you think people will do or won't do or can't do.
Torben, do you remember me? We started with the 3 questions.
They're irrelevant for my points.
Yeah, I will tell you my point. That's good. You said what you said. Great. Moon, you can continue believe that moon it has something to do with the shape of the earth. Nobody wants to convince you. There is an ocean. You can go outside and check it if it's real or not. That's what we are saying. Nothing else. That's my point.
Yep. So thank you, Sasha. It's been shown quite eloquently by everyone here, and very quite to the point, Torben, that you have a blind belief. You admitted it yourself. We don't have a belief. We don't think Earth is flat.
I see clear evidence.
You're interrupting me. Stop interrupting. Listen, I wasn't done. So you've presented to us that you have a blind religious zealotry belief in this globe. You're interrupting me again. Stop. So you have a blind zealotrous belief in this globe Earth, which you've shown to us that you have no knowledge of at all. Wait. You have a religious belief, a fervor for this globe with no evidence. We have tested the levelness of Earth over water. We don't have a belief. Measurement is not a belief. Testing is not a belief. We have absolute data, empirical, repeatable data. You have none of this. You have a religion. We don't. That was proven in the 3 points. Thanks for being honest. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, so, sir, do you have any geometric justification for the geometric claim of a globe Earth?
I don't need to. I brought up enough points that prove it.
You don't need to, so that'll be a no.
There is geometric evidence, it has been proven by many people. I don't know all of the proofs from the top of my head.
Your Honor.
Why don't you?
One question I wanted to ask you is about the motor.
No, hold on. Before you scattergun on to the next thing, hold on. You just said, no, I don't have any geometric proof for the globe. But then you said, well, yeah, many people have done it. So which one is it?
I just brought up a few points that suggest around Earth.
But we called out the fallacies in those, and there were category errors there too. You're appealing to motivation. You're trying to mind read people and stuff like that. You're in the wrong category. You need to provide geometric justification. I told you already what I meant. It's a geometric argument, right? So there should be a geometric proof for it, right? Not all these sociological claims about what NASA would do or what people can get away with lying about, etc. That has nothing to do with the actual claim.
I think it's just the best counter argument. Just the best counter argument for flat Earth that it would be just huge undertaking.
It's not because it's a category error.
There's nothing that can be gained from convincing people.
Well, that's false because they gained you.
And it's irrelevant anyway, though. What you think somebody could or could not gain from it is irrelevant, like I'm trying to tell you, because the globe is a geometric argument, and you're not making a geometric argument. You're just trying to divine people's motives. It's got nothing to do with your actual claim. So when are you going to get to your claim?
You got to get in the mindset of a court setting. You're the lawyer for your representative, the globe. So saying things like, well, Your Honor, I just can't fathom why my client would lie. They would have nothing to gain, Your Honor. It's not making a strong case for why you're supposed to win the case. So I just want you to get in the mindset of, like, you need to be as if you're presenting evidence to a judge or the jury. Well, here, Judge, I think it's a globe because of X, Y, and Z, and here's why I think that. Not, well, Your Honor, the defendant just wouldn't believe me. That's why you should believe me. It's like that doesn't work that way. It's not how you make a strong case for your side. So just keep that in mind.
I think it would be the best argument because there's no motivation for all of science to have a conspiracy.
It's not an argument.
I have other points too, like
hold on, we got to address this. It's not an argument. So if you're in a court setting and you go, I just can't possibly think of a motive, so what? It's all about the evidence at that point. The motive, you can make a clean-cut conviction based off of evidence, and you don't even need any motive whatsoever. So you sitting there and thinking, like, well, I just can't think of a motive, means literally nothing.
Yeah, it's like if you want to make an argument for what shape something is, you don't go, oh, well, all these people said so, and I can't see any reason why they would lie or not be right or whatever, so that must be what it is. No, you just go and measure it and demonstrate empirically and directly that it is the shape that you say it is. So you're in the category error. You're making the wrong type of argument for the claim that you have. Please try to address this.
And here's a quick clip from, someone, an authority, when they're asking about motive. Hey, what's the motive for this? Here's his answer.
We currently don't truly understand the why. As far as motivation and any type of relationship, we don't know. But the investigators are keeping all options open.
So here's the issue: is that folks like our friend Torben here, and this isn't a personal attack, but like it's almost like you guys would make horrible investigators if you arrive to a crime scene and there's a dead body, there's blood, there's a camera over there, there's bullet shells, and you go, well, I just can't fathom why this would have happened. You're not a very good investigator if you ignore the evidence.
Exactly, and an investigator would consider possible motives in the hope that it would lead them to clues or to evidence. That would then solidify the charge.
And just as a quick aside, when you've made up your mind that there's no way that you can be lied to, guess what that makes you? The easiest kind of person to lie to.
Exactly. And so you ask, what do they gain? Ding, 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 heretic just answered it for you. They gained you. They got you loyally and blindly defending for something that you admitted to the whole panel. No offense, you told Sasha, no, I don't know how they measured curve. No, I don't know how rotation was measured. No, I can't prove gas pressure without a container. So they gained you, a blind believer, a blind follower, and you don't even know. So that sounds good to me. If I could gain a bunch of blind believers and they don't even know what they're defending, I'll take that all day. So I think that's worth a lot. If you really need something to chew on, they got you, my brother. They got you.
I would stop muting my microphone, and they gain nothing from me. I'm not supporting anything with anything, and I don't need a motivation to claim that.
Wait, you are supporting a thing and they didn't have to ask you, so you are supporting.
Yeah, they own your worldview.
You're supporting a thing too. I believe the Earth is round because of observations. You believe the contrary, and that's it. There's no group I'm supporting with that.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but I would say the issue is that you don't know what the contrary is, Torben. I think that was one of the first things I asked you. Was like, well, can you present to me this not flat Earth you're talking about? And you're like, well, I don't really know what it is. So I would challenge that.
And why I believe.
It's all right. He keeps reiterating.
I want to know that he repeat, Sonny, why I believe. Does he know?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's talk about the shape of the moon, for example. How would you explain it?
No, that doesn't matter because I asked, why I believe.
Why do I believe the Earth is round? Because I think all the evidence points towards it.
Not why I believe that. No, why I believe that Earth is not around.
Why you believe that?
Yeah, why? You know?
Yeah, I've heard your arguments about it, and I think they're wrong.
They're wrong. Are you saying that the flatness of one, the flatness of the one reality things like water, like the ocean, the flatness of that flatness I cannot call flat. How I will call it? The 10 miles of flatness. How I will call it?
Oh, he would call it a hill of water.
Torben, how I will call it 10 miles of flatness?
You should have said that.
At this point, he's just being intellectually dishonest and not trying to progress anything forward.
I'm picking up on that too, Scary.
Like it if you could explain the moon thing, for example. I keep bringing up.
I'm asking you very simple. I'm asking you a very simple question. How I will call 10 miles of flatness?
Flat plane.
Huh?
I can show you flat plane. If then, why should I think that something is curving because there is 10 miles flatness?
The Earth is really, really big. There are huge flat areas.
Yeah. How big it is? How big it is?
I don't know the exact number from the top of my head. It's totally irrelevant to my arguments.
That means that you don't know how big it is.
You don't know what to expect from the geometry then. So you don't even know what you'd be looking for to tell whether it's a globe. So you are you are the least suited person here for the argument that you're trying to make.
Yeah, of course, because you don't know now what I'm speaking, that 10 miles of flatness. What that mean? It's flat, yeah, but you said it's big, but I'm saying, yeah, it is big because I compare that 10 miles with that the size what they're saying, and there should not be that 10 miles of flatness. Do you get that?
I think he might need a little break, but yeah, I mean, he's I might be in his fifis at the moment.
Yeah. So if he doesn't know,
the other person.
Hold on a second. We'll be right with you, PC. Well, if he doesn't know, like the radius, okay, does he know any part or piece of this geometric claim, such as, okay, maybe people don't have the radius memorized, but there would be a reference somewhere in your mind. If you're here representing said globe, you would know at the surface what the consequences are. So, for instance, how much elevation drop on your globe would there be in the 10 miles? Because you would have to know this if you're trying to refute that, or if you're trying to show the opposite of what we're saying. You would have the numbers as far as on the surface elevation drop, right? Do you have that? Okay, no, it's a loaded question because I know you don't. Because you don't know anything about the globe you're here trying to defend, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was us that spoke, Torben, about the height, right? How if you claim to be 6 foot, then there has to be a certain amount of inches there. So it's kind of weird. Might be why we need to take a break and go on to someone else, because we did already cover that there's a specific quote unquote height claim when it comes to the Earth. It's not claimed to be vaguely big or just so big. It has a very specific number. Just like when it comes to your height, you're not big, medium, small. You're a specific height, like 6 foot, that you can test. So I don't know why we're going backwards. Like, oh no, the Earth is just so big when we already covered how big specifically and how, like what the numbers would break down to. Just like if you're 6 foot, you would break down to 72 inches have to be there for that claim to be true. So,
CP, but look at this position. He said that he believed in authorities and everything. Okay, great. I believe in nature. Now, he can tell other people, if he wants to speak about flat earthers, that there is a flat earther who believes there is no drop over distance, and that it is a main point. The drop over distance was every sphere should to have, if you know the geometry. That's why we are flat earthers. We cannot find the drop over distance. And if you go in your life, tell these people, other globe people, we are saying only this. There is no drop over distance in reality, and you can check it for yourself, and nobody can convince you. That's all.
Right, yeah. He's supposed to be arguing for how he knows it's a sphere rather than why it looks flat. He's arguing for the fact that it looks flat, right, which is contradictory to his belief system, which is just based on argument from incredulity.
Mm-hmm.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.